Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Central Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. Worked out nicely that today was podcast day, first of the month, first of the year. So you know we're going to get into some goals. Sorry, I'm trying to even this out. I am still coughing. If you've been here a little bit, the cough just won't go away, but I have some hot tea, which seems to help. The coughing starts when I start talking. So I made a fresh cup of hot tea to hopefully make it a little bit better. All right, before we get into the podcast, a little bit of admin. Because it is the first of the year, that means my make-along I was co-hosting with Amy and Jesselyn has officially ended. The Stripe Along 2024, I closed that FO thread this morning and I pulled 2 winners. So these are their Ravelry names. So if this is you, please contact me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com. Okay, so it's EggInMyHair and treesourceltd. I'll put that on the screen. EggInMyHair and treesourceltd, congratulations. So I will get with you and get some prizes your way. All right. If you're new here, welcome. I do a traditional podcast style, and I do have timestamps below for all the things I talk about so you can skip around. And I also name every podcast after a song title because Before My Love of Yarn was my love/obsession with music. And I like most genres of music. So today I thought I'd pick New by Ben Platt. So I do have a Spotify playlist, which has almost all my songs. I think Spotify removed a song, so I'm like one short on there. It did work out nicely. I could tell what episode I was on because that's how many songs were in the playlist, and now I'm one short. But all of my music that is on Spotify that has been a name of my podcast is on my Spotify playlist, and I have a link to that below if you would like to take a listen. All right, I kind of have my notes here. I have my notes here, so if you have me looking at my T's here, bear with me, as always. All right, so today what we're going to get into is finished objects, cast-ons, whips, acquisitions, and lots of goal talk. So let's get into it. I am wearing no knitting. It's the first. I'm home most of the day, so I am in comfy clothes, loungy house clothes. All right, so let's start with finished objects. I have 2 finished objects. I only have one here. So let's talk about the one that's not here, and I will put in a picture. It is my Advent socks, which was my last FO of the season. It was by Woolens and Nosh. They are super tall, as you can see. I do not usually wear tall socks, but my daughter was over the other day. Excuse me. And she works outside at a coffee place. And I'm like, man, these socks would really be great, with boots. And so she tried them on. Because they're so tall, they're just a little too snug right up because they go up to my calves. And yeah, they're a little bit too snug up there. So she tried them on and she's like, these literally fit perfect. So I'm like, excellent, they are yours. So I finished those and I have already gifted them to her. So she is very excited about that. The second finished object is also another pair of socks. They're on my little foot guys. Boom. They are my last Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for the year. I literally finished these right after I podcast last time. I just cranked the last one out. But they look really good. This is in the colorway Bamboozled. And she is doing the Desert Vista Dye Works Sock Along Challenge for 2025. I am not participating because you can see this bin right here. This is all my self-striping. So I've been neglecting other self-striping yarn to work with my DVD stash for this year. So this year I'm going to go into that lovely stash there. Yeah. All right. So socks and socks. Finished objects done. We'll talk about at the end how many finished objects I got done for the year. All right. So let's get into new cast-ons. And I have those over here. All right. First one, I have been the last like week, maybe. You know, I know that a lot of people have like Christmas through New Year's off. I do not. I had Christmas Day off and New Year's Day today. But ironically, they both landed on a Wednesday, which is already my day off. So I got a couple hours. We closed the shop each Tuesday, like at 2 instead of 5. So I got a couple hours extra. So it's not like I had a bunch of days off, because I know a lot of people, they have more time at home. They want to cast on things. But the cast on bug has hit me hard. I have wanted to cast on all the things. So I did cast on something in here. This is a Mrs. Brown's bags. And I cast on the Moonstone by Beata Jezek. So it's a shawl. It will be like this, but it's easier to see if I hold it like this. It's almost at the edge of my needles here. I love this. I am not a jumbo bulky yarn person. Big needles kind of hurts my hand. Like I can't sit and knit this straight for a long period of time. But when she released, she's from Hedgehog Fibers. She has all of her patterns for free. And when she released this pattern, which I think was like maybe a year ago, this is the Moonstone colorway, which, you know, I love blue, and it has even pops of some pink in there. And I fell in love with this color, and of course it was the Moonstone color. It was the Moonstone shawl. And I'm like, okay, I have to get that. I didn't get it right away because I'm like, oh, it's bulky. I just don't know. But then like she promoted it like months later on her Instagram. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm totally doing it. So it's 3 balls of this bulky. So I'm nearing the end of my first one. I'm still on the increase. You increase to a total of like 101 stitches, I think. I don't remember how many I have. Last time I counted, I needed 40 more, but I've done a few increase rows since then. So yes, super easy. It will get into more of a lace pattern, like toward the end of it. So this is just kind of an easy part. 2-row repeat back and forth right now. And I love how it looks. It'll be great. Like I said, I just can't knit on it for super long because I know myself when I'm using bigger needles, it's affecting how I'm holding it and how I'm doing the work. So I have to be careful like how long I'm doing this at one time. But luckily, because it's big, it still seems to be going fast, even though I'm not constantly working on it. All right. I have a second cast on, which I cast on last night, which if you follow me on Instagram, I posted about it this morning. So I actually have, there's a couple other things I wanted to cast on. And I did a swatch with some stash yarn from Knit Picks, their high desert yarn. And I am going to make a weekender crew out of that. So I actually did a full-on swatch, block, all the things, and was going to cast that on. And then yesterday, this is kind of a long-winded story. It's all about the making though. Yesterday, I decided before the podcast, this would be a good time to go through, so this cabinet here on the bottom, there's 2 doors, and it is full of yarn in bags with projects, pages already printed out. Like I have them planned, I have the yarn, and if you've been here a while, you know every few months I like to go through them, make sure I still even want that project, if I still like that color, if I need to, you know, change it in any way. And it's good because I take it all out, I clean it really good, which is always a good idea to clean where your yarn is so there's no critters. So I took all that out, and I even actually made a list, which we're going to talk more about in goals, because I wanted to see, and I counted up how many projects I have that are ready to cast on. So that number will be to come. But then last night I saw my daughter. So I forgot a part. So there was a project in there using actually a different Knit Picks yarn, which is for the Lemongrass by Joji Locatelli. I love the yarn. I love the pattern. It's definitely a more of a winter knit, which we know I live in the South, so there isn't much of a winter here, true winter. So I'm like, oh, I really, really want to cast that on. So I took that out and put it in a project bag to cast that on, thinking today I was going to cast that on. Then I saw my daughter last night, and I have previously shown, I don't have it here, but I made a quick ombre hat. It is a free pattern. I am doing a class for it for beginner color work at Arkansas Yarn Co., where I work. Excuse me. Better take a drink. Okay, so, and my daughter fell in love with that hat when she saw me making it, and she's like, I want that hat. And I'm like, well, it's a store sample. Like, I can't give you this hat, but I can make you one. Well, didn't think she was in a hurry to get it. And I thought, okay, well, I have to cast on another one for the class, which is in not this coming Saturday, but like a week and a half from right now. So I need to cast on one so I have it during the class. I thought, oh, I'll cast it on then. Well, last night she informs me, she's like, I need that hat before I go to New York. She's going to New York with friends. It was a graduation gift given to her that they are paying for the trip. She leaves Tuesday. She's like, it's supposed to be in the 20s the whole week we're there, and I don't have a great fitting hat. And I'm like, okay. So I went home and I cast it on. So this is the exact same yarn that I used for the shop sample. This is literally what I had left from the first one. I used about 30 to 40 grams of each color. So this is Malabrigo Rios. This is water green and denim. So I'm making the exact same one. She wanted the water green on the bottom, and then the color work starts. I'm literally just at the color work row right now. So the color work starts, and it's just a little bit of this, and then eventually it flip flops, and it ends with this is like the main color and this as the color work. So really easy hat. When I did this before, I worked on it for 2 days. So if I work on this most of the day today, it should be no problem to get it done for her. Yeah, so that kind of changed my cast on plans for my day. So now I need to make sure, because with work schedule, probably the last time I'll see her before her trip is Sunday. So I need to get this done before Sunday to get it to her in time. So yeah, that is a free pattern, and it's a really great one. Like I said, I'm doing a beginner color work class. If you're semi-local, never done color work, really great pattern. All right, that is all of my new cast-ons. So let's get into whips. Okay. Because Advent month and things like that. So sorry. I'm saying when I talk, I start coughing. Because of Advent month, I, didn't work on a lot of different projects. So I'm just kind of getting out of that. You're going to see one project that I still am working on from December. But otherwise, I've put a little progress on a couple other ones. All right. So the one that you have seen this last month is in this bag by Woolly Bean. And it is my test knit for MC of Blame the Knots. This is the shoulder shell. And I'm at a good point on this right now because I'm on the purl side and then I'm at my measurement. So I don't know what the next step is, but I was supposed to go till I was at a certain measurement and I am pretty much there. So I'm on to the next section of the pattern. I'm guessing it's going to be picking up from the other side and then doing the front panel. That's my guess. So yeah, this is the back panel. How you're looking at it, this will sit on my shoulder. It's like an open short sleeve, like cardigan-ish. So this color is really growing on me. Obviously, I ordered this a long time ago. This is Deep Stash Legacy Fiber Arts in the colorway Candy Apple on their DK base. It's a little blown out, but let me see if I can fix that. But you can see it has lots of different shades in it. So I am not a red person. I love orange, I love pink. So it's not that I hate all shades of red, but like bright red, I can't do it. So this is a red yarn. That might be better. But you can see like there's like light pink in there. And when I agreed to sign up for the test, I'm like, okay, I have to have yarn to do this. I'm not ordering yarn. So this was the only DK I had enough that wasn't assigned to something else. And I'm like, all right, I'll do this. But I'm like, oh, it's red and I'm not going to wear it. And then as I'm knitting on it, I'm like, okay. And I took it to work and I'm just like, yeah, I just don't know about the red. And Lori's like, that reads pink to me. Like there's like lots of different pinks. And there really is. So this colorway is really growing on me. Another scenario of, it's sometimes hard to tell when you look at a skein per, compared to, actually knit up. So yeah, I'm enjoying this knit. It is due the end of January. I'm hoping I can do it. So that is whip 1. Now the next 3 all have little progress. So bear with me, but progress is progress. So this is the Digory tee. It is in a black Purl Magic bag. I'm using Charming You, the Chibi sock base in the colorway Oceanic Oasis. This pattern is by Devin Ventre of Knitty McPurley. I'm alternating skeins when I come back, so that's kind of the yarn mess here. And again, I'm just working on 1/2. So this is a bottom up sweater. It's kind of hard to see. The ribbing is curled up here, but the bottom ribbing, I'm past the arm, as you can see here. So I have like one panel knit flat, and then I will have to basically again knit the other panel flat, which is just on the same needles. So yeah, here is where I was last time. So I actually got quite a few inches. Not bad, not bad. Move it up while I actually remember. So yeah, I love this color. It's so funny, yesterday when I was going through my cupboard of all my yarn stash for projects, I know that a lot of people go through color phases because while I watch podcasts, like people go through Okay, I'm like knitting a lot of blue things right now. Okay, all of a sudden I'm in a green phase, you know. And being that blue and pinks, namely hot pinks, are my favorites, I have a lot of blue and then pink things. I remember in the past I went through such a pink phase where I'm like, okay, I can't buy a sweater quantity worth of pink yarn because I've knit so many pink sweaters lately. Well, now I have blue and green phase. Both the yarn I have set aside for the Weekender crew and the lemongrass are different shades of green, which I like green, but it's definitely not one of my favorites, which is so funny that I have so much of it. But yeah, when I was going through the stash, I'm like, okay, a lot of blue. I'm not mad at it. It's just so funny how it, like, sometimes because I have so many projects that I can cast on at any time, it may not even be the project that I want, but I see the yarn. I'm like, okay, I want to play with that yarn. I want to see that yarn knit up. So I gravitate toward colors that the project are in. That's what I decide what I want to cast on at the moment. It's like truly a color vibe. So I have a lot of blue sweaters coming up this year probably because there is a lot in my stash. Which means I will think about that when I buy yarn and be like, okay, I already have a lot of blue queued up, so I need to get a different color when purchasing. All right. You saw this a little bit, I think, in December. This is the Unicorn Cloud by Mermaid's Purl. This is in a Della Q bag. This was a kit. It was called a Moondrake Unicorn Cloud, where it had both of these together. What's happening here? Okay. All right. So this is just a giant wrap. I'm doing the large version. There is a small where you can buy one of the unicorn clouds, one skein of each, and make a small shawl. Or there's the wrap version, which is what I'm making, which is large, which is 2 skeins of each. So it's just on the bias. It's just more of this back and forth. It's so beautiful and fun. This is one of those when I don't know what I want to knit on and I just want to look at something pretty. This fits the bill. You can see my progress keeper. So I've knit just a bit on it. But again, this is one that has come back out. So yeah. And the colorway of this set is Juicy Fruits. So it's the same color in both bases, but I mean, this lighting, you definitely aren't going to tell. You can kind of see some yellows in there, but it is the same. So that one is fun in a super fun bag to match. Again, this is a 4-row repeat. All right, I have one more whip, and I just got it out the other day. So again, kind of was in the mode, this is a few days ago, where I was thinking about, oh, how many whips do I have? I wonder how many I have. And I looked on my IKEA cart, and I'm like, I'm gonna get out something I haven't touched in a while and just make a little bit of progress on it. So I looked through my cart and my projects, and I decided to get out this. This is in a Knick Knack Knits bag. This is the Court of Foxes hat by Dragon Hoard Yarn. I have made one of these before. I am using the Earth Harvest DK in the colorway, I wrote that down wrong. It's something Cosmic Purple Carrot. And their colorway names are by what they use to dye the yarn. So it's not purple at all. It's definitely blue. All right, so I've made this hat before and loved it. And I actually had cast this on and took it to my New York trip, which was in the fall, September, I think. And I didn't get very far. I didn't even get to the lace work or the cable work before I went. So you can see my marker was right at where the ribbing was, getting ready to start the chart. And so I did a few rows of that. So not a lot of progress, but like just trying to get working back on those old whips so that they get some kind of work in them. But yeah, I'm really loving the stitch definition in this yarn. I did a twisted rib for this. Yeah. All right, that is all of my whips. So next, let's get into acquisitions. All right, I have some. Let's see. Trying to make sure I have them all. All right. So I had ordered something from Candy Shop Yarns. I actually don't know if I've ever ordered from her, but I love her podcast. I always watch it, and her colors are so good. She does colors based on old like candy shop things, and she does a lot of like Barbie colors and things like that. So definitely my vibe. Actually, I really wanted, was it 2 years ago? She did like an 80s advent, and I really wanted it, but wasn't able to get it. So this may be the first yarn I've gotten from her. Really excited. So I got 2 skeins of yarn. This one is on the crystalline sock base, 438 yards per 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And this is called Pearl of the Sea. I can kind of see the stellina in there. And then this one, like I said, she does a lot of Barbie colors. Like she names them off whatever the Barbie was, and a lot of the Barbies she's had, I remember having that Barbie. So this is Barbie and the Rockers. She had like the hot pink and black outfit. This is DK sock yarn, so it's 245 yards per 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. I love that. I think these are going to be house socks for me. All right, so I got that. And then Knitty McPurley, you know I love her yarn. One of the minis has come undone here. She started a subscription for 2025. Now, I don't plan on staying with it all year, but I definitely wanted the first month to support her, and also she had a special pin, which I don't have it here. I will put in a picture of everything that came with it, but here is the yarn part of it. So she is doing, it's called the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. So this is the January, and it came with a bunch of minis. So her thing is she is going to do patterns. We're going to knit through Summer Lee's sock book. What is it called? The Sock Project book. So you have to have that book, and then she will say that she's dyed up whatever yarn, and this is the pattern we make. So for January, it's scrappy socks. So she did a bunch of minis. And then it also, the first month came with an enamel pen. It says League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. And it came with the cutest little sock progress keeper. So nice. So yeah, those were the extras that it came with. So I'm really excited that I was able to support her and get this month. I don't know if I will do scrappy socks this month. Just thinking of Advent, that's a lot of scrappy for me at one time. So I'm going to hold on to this for now. Then I received a gift from Lori. She got all of us girls some yarny gifts. So she gifted the 2024 Cozy Knitter Advent. And then this awesome self-striping set from Yarn Cafe Creation. Look how bright that is. I love it. This green is just fantastic. I mean, I feel like it's glowing in the dark. It's awesome. So yeah, this is called Sweet Shop on her biscotti sock base. And the minis are called Gumball and Pixie Sticks. So love this. So this will go in my self-striping things. So yeah, love self-striping yarn. And I got my monthly Sock Yarn Society. So this is January. Sorry, I just teased it there. But if you haven't gotten your box yet, which we shipped them out yesterday, the 31st, so everyone should get them a little bit earlier. But if you don't want to see it, close your eyes now. Usually I don't show it on the podcast, but Lori and I are no longer doing the unboxing videos. So I figured I'd show this one. And I also am probably not going to be getting any more of these boxes for now. I have gotten this box subscription since the beginning, but again, I will talk more about stash. And I just kind of want to go in there. And there is one subscription I'm kind of half keeping my eye on, if it's available, that I kind of would like to get for a while if I can get a slot. So this is January. It is called Snowdrops. So let's start with the yarn. I won't describe it too much in case you're not looking. But this year, Lori is doing birth month flowers. So I think every month has like 2 different birth flowers. I did not even know this. And one of them is snowdrops. So that's what the, and again, you see the matchy. Really pretty. I have it on the sparkle base. And then for the extras, we have, of course, the stitch marker that is made in-house. We have a tee from Plum Deluxe. We have a sticker from the Gray Muse, and mine doesn't have a label on it because I took the last one. But this is the in-house lotion we have. This is unscented, and we do have these in stock at the store. So if you like this lotion and you have sensitivity to smells, this is a great one. So we have lotion, and we have a pattern. It has a Ravelry code on it, so. But the pattern is also called Snowdrops. So yeah, that is the Sock Yarn Society for January. All right, that is all acquisitions. So we have one section left. Let's talk goals. All right, so first let's talk monthly goals, and then we'll kind of talk year things, new year things. Okay, trying to get all my notes together. So my December goals were to finish my DVD socks, to finish the Musselburgh that I did for a customer, finish my Advent socks, and I actually had written down to knit joy, to not be stressed, to knit things that make me happy. And all those things were accomplished. I finished my DVD socks, my Musselburgh, my Advent socks, and I feel like I only knit on things that were bringing me happiness. So that was good. I didn't feel overly stressed out in my making. Now, my yarn in for the month, this is full skeins, 50 grams or higher, is 12. My yarn out was 5. And I had 2 FOs and 3 new cast-ons in December. I'm going to look at my little calendar and make sure that's right. I have 4. I had 4 cast-ons. I started some design mitts. So I had 4 new cast-ons and 2 FOs. Which are the ones... Nope. That's wrong too. All right. I've been really bad about keeping track of my journaling and my Ravelry project pages. Yesterday, I actually went through the Ravelry project pages and updated things. Like my Advent socks, I hadn't even put in as a project page. And when I finished it, I went in to complete it and I'm like, oh, I didn't even start a page. So I cleaned that up yesterday. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cast-ons for December. And then I have 1, 2, 3 finished objects because I finished the hat also besides the 2 I just showed. All right. So that was my monthly December goals. My January goals is to finish my test knit, to obviously finish my daughter's hat. That is within the next couple days. And I have a pair of cranked socks from some Knit Picks Felici that just need afterthought heels. And so I'm like, okay, what am I waiting for? So I broke down vanilla socks to finish those things because that's ridiculous how little needs to be done on that. All right, so that is the monthly things. So let's talk about the year. First, let's talk about 2024 year. So 2024, I had 2 Make 9 boards. I will put in pictures. First of all, I just had projects I hadn't started that I wanted to work on. And it would help probably if I could bring them up on my phone so I can look at them. That board, the things that I just wanted to start, I did okay at. I finished 4 projects. I have 2 currently on my needles and 3 I didn't even start. They're still in this cupboard here, ready to go. All right, and then I had a whip board where I picked 9 whips that I had on my needles before January 1st, 2024, and I wrote those down. 3 I completed, 2 I frogged, and 4 are still whips. So that's where we stand with that. Totally okay with those. Again, when I make goals, they're very loose goals. I am not the person that is like, okay, I need to do so many rows per day because I have to get this done by the end of this month. That is way too stressful. I like goals to try to reach, but I also don't get upset when I don't reach them. I'd rather have the joy of my making. So that is my Make 9 boards. How much yarn in and out did I have for the year? Again, I keep track of full skeins because it's just easier for me, and I do 50 grams and above. So like for instance this, I'm not counting as yarn in. But this skein will be in. So this will be, let's see, this will be 3 skeins because this is 2 50-gram balls, 50-gram skeins. So I will count this as 3 skeins in. All right, so yarn in, I had 162 skeins in for the year. And yarn out, I had 77. So, my goal is always to break even if possible, if not be under. But it's been a rough year, I admit it, and there was a lot of emotional spending going on there. All right. That is how much yarn in and out. All right, so the other thing, like I said, yesterday I spent the day going through counting all my whips and going through and counting how many projects I have in here and seeing if I want to, not do any of them anymore. Which I think I did take 2 out and just put the yarn back in my stash. So for whips, and I realized this morning I forgot to count my blanket, which is over in the corner by my knitting chair. So with including my new cast on from last night and my blanket, which I didn't write on here, I currently have 21 whips. That is actually a smaller number than I was thinking it was going to be. I was thinking it was going to be at least in the 30s. So I'm actually happy about that. But I do want to get some things off my needles, obviously. I have, a bunch of garments that I want done, and I feel like accessories don't bother me so much, hats, socks, even shawls on my needles. But when I have so many garments, I'm like, I'm never going to get a garment done when I just keep casting on new garments. So, yeah. So I have 19 whips. And then in my cupboard so this isn't even including obviously I have all this stash here is not planned for anything. These obviously will be probably socks, but that doesn't include that. That is just what is in this cupboard here in a bag with the yarn and the project already printed out, ready to go. Grab my needles, cast on. I have 42 projects ready to start. So 42 projects of yarn that I wouldn't have to buy. I know I have the needles for, or crochet hooks or whatever, and I could just cast on. So that's a lot. And those 42, those are what I kept. I literally got rid of 2. So all of those things, I looked at the pictures. Yes, I still want them. So all of these things I want to make, all of the yarn I still want to use. That is a lot. So that takes me into what are my plans for the year. And again, I say this loosely because, if you can make a plan for the year and you keep exactly to that plan without wavering, good for you. That's awesome. But reality, this last year took some turns I was not expecting in my life. So reality hits and your plans change, and that's okay. So the first thing is the Make 9 board. I am only going to make one board this year, and it's going to be a whip board only. Because I could see that I didn't get a lot done from that board, but I would like to clear some whips. So I feel like that is a doable challenge. And I've even picked the 9 whips. I went through my list. I wrote down all the whips I had, and then I starred the 9 I want to put that on my whip board. I haven't made that up. Maybe when I edit this, I will have it, but it's doubtful. So it might be the next podcast where I have that. But I have made that up because I like to take pictures of the actual project where I'm at in it so I can see where I was. And then if I finish it, I switch that picture out with the completed objects pictures. So I will make one whip board, whip Make 9 board. So I'm planning on doing that. And then for this year, I definitely want to knit joy. I've talked about it many times. My life circumstances have changed, and knitting, crocheting, Tunisian crocheting, spinning, all the crafty things are what bring me joy and comfort and calm. So even though I like to have a goal, I just need to make the things I want to make. So if that means I have many, many whips and I'm only getting an inch or two done on each project at a time, then so be it. If that's what's keeping me calm in life, then that is the path I'm going to take, because I need to be calm. Also, there's definitely things I want to cast on from this list. Like I said, I've even put 2 things that are on this 42 ready to start in bags. Like I said, I want to make the lemongrass soon and the weekender soon. I literally have that in a project bag on my sofa to my left right now. So those are things that definitely will happen. But I am not going to stress about what it is. Although the big picture idea is I do want to work on my stash. So a few years ago, I hosted a year-long make-along, and I feel like it was / that stash, but I don't know. I know many people have stash make-alongs, so it's been a while. I can't remember. I am going to be hosting it on my Ravelry because that's easier for me. Instagram sometimes stresses me out, and now that you can't follow a hashtag, you have to like type it in every time, and even then I find that it's not always showing up all the pictures. So definitely post it on social media and feel free to tag me if you're using your stash. That'd be awesome. But I'm going to call it Love Your Stash, because I mean, even from here, there's things I love in here. Of course, we love buying yarn. That's not going to change. I'm not going to not buy yarn ever. I'm never saying that because that's ridiculous. But I have 42 projects ready to go, not including all this beautiful sock yarn that I want to make, including different things that I have like 2 skeins of that I could easily make into something new that comes out. So I want to use my stash, whether it's projects I already have planned or from my stash. I want to use it this year. So I am hosting a year-long make-along to use your stash. The rules are simple. Post it on the Ravelry page. I will set up a chat because I think it's great to chat along with, encourage each other, but I will set up a FO thread. The rules are it has to be from your stash from before 2025. So no yarn that you buy this year. And the other rule is I like it if you use at least 50 grams in your projects. So that's like no baby socks, no washcloths, things like that. Just because it's my rules. Because for me, those projects like that, you can use leftover yarn for, and that's like a different kind of thing. So I want you to go into your actual full stash and make something. So it must be at least 50 grams of yarn, and must be from your stash from before this calendar year. So I will open up that thread today, chatter and FO thread, and feel free to post in there. I am going to, once a month, at the end of the month, or beginning, I guess, of next month, I will pull a prize every single month. So that's 12 opportunities to win something. And then I will pull something from my stash that maybe isn't calling to me anymore. This is what I did a few years ago, and I thought it was great because it's encouraging to use our stash, and then if you don't love something anymore, then gift it to someone else that can use it, and then it's new to them. So let's love our stash this year. All right, I think that is it. Whew. It was a longer one today. Thank you for putting up with my coughing. But I'm excited about this year of making. I'm excited to work on what I want. I am a big advocate of knit, crochet, what you love. If you love making gifts, fantastic. If you just love making for yourself, fantastic. We do this for calm. I felt this year more than any other time in my life, that this is my calm. I definitely want to eventually get projects done, but I am absolutely more of a process knitter than a project knitter, for sure, because I just need the feeling in my hand to calm my mind. So I hope that the new year brings you calm, peace, friends, family, happy crafting, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.